जय ओम विष्णुपाद परिहंसकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रीला प्रभुपाद की इसकाउन फौंडर आचार्य श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय। नामाचार्य श्रीला हरिदास ठाकुर की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। ऑल ग्लोरीज टू द assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada की जय। Hare Krishna. So welcome to the morning Bhagavatam class. Today we are reciting the verse from Canto 4, Chapter 26, King Purañjana goes to the forest to hunt, and the text number 21. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Text 21. Purañjana uvacha. Nyunam tu akruta punyaste. Vritya yeshu ishvara sube. Krutagasva atmasat krutva. Siksha dandam na yunjate. Purañjana uvacha. Nyunam tva akruta punyaste. Vritya yeshva ishvara sube. Krutagasa atmasat krutva. Siksha dandam na yunjate. Purañjana uvacha. Nyunam tva akruta punyaste. Vritya ishvara sube. Krutagasva atmasat krutva. Siksha dandam na yunjate. Prabhuji. Purañjana uvacha. Nunam akrutva punyaste. Vritya yeshva ishvara sube. Krutagasva atmasat krutva. Siksha dandam na yunjate. Purañjana uvacha. Nyunam tva akruta punyaste. Vritya yeshva ishvara sube. Krutagasva atmasat krutva. Siksha dandam na yunjate. Purañjana uvacha. Nyunam tva akruta punyaste. Vritya yeshva ishvara sube. Krutagasva atmasat krutva. Siksha dandam na yunjate. Purañjana uvacha. Nyunam tva akruta punyaste. Vritya yeshva ishvara sube. Krutagasva atmasat krutva. Siksha dandam na yunjate. Word to word meaning. Purañjana uvacha. Purañjana said, Nunam, certainly, tu, then, Akruta punya, those who are not pious. Te, such, vritya, servants. Eshu, unto whom Ishvara, the masters. Suve, O most auspicious one. Kruta agasu, having committed an offense. Atmasad, accepting as their own. Krutva, doing so. Siksha, instructive. Dandam, punishment. Na yunjate, do not give. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace S. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation, please repeat. King Purañjana said, my dear beautiful wife, when a master accepts a servant as his own man but does not punish him for his offenses, the servant must be considered unfortunate. Purport. According to Vedic civilization, domestic animals and servants are treated exactly like one's own children. Animals and children are sometimes punished not out of vengeance but out of love. Similarly, a master sometimes punishes his servant not out of vengeance but out of love, to correct him and bring him to the right point. Thus, King Purañjana took his punishment dealt by his wife, the queen, as a mercy upon him. He considered himself the most obedient servant of the queen. She was angry at him for his sinful activities, namely hunting in the forest and leaving her at home. King Purañjana accepted the punishment as actual love and affection from his wife. In the same way, when a person is punished by loss of nature, by the will of God, he should not be disturbed. A real devotee thinks in this way. When a devotee is put into an awkward position, he takes it as the mercy of the Supreme Lord. Tattenu kampam susumikshamano bunjanam evam sutkutam vipakam. Rudvag vapurbir vidham namaste jiveta yumukte pade sadaya bhak. Bhagavatam 10:14-8. This verse states that a devotee accepts a reversal of his position in life as a benediction by the Lord, and consequently offers the Lord more obeisances and prayers, thinking that the punishment is due to his past misdeeds and that the Lord is punishing him very mildly. The punishment awarded by the state or by God for one's own fault is actually for one's benefit. In the Manu Samhita, it is said that the king should be considered merciful when he condemns a murderer to death, because the murderer punished in this life becomes freed from this sinful activity and in the next life takes birth cleared of all sins. If one accepts punishment as reward dealt by the master, he becomes intelligent enough not to commit the same mistake again. Let's do Mangalacharan. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Sri Guru Sriyuta Padakamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakan Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namosute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhano Sude Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Krupa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktarunda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So we are continuing the pastimes of Purañjana. So Purañjana pastime we are continuing in this verse. So Purañjana went to the forest for hunting, ignoring his wife. And then when he came back and he saw his wife's position, then he realized that he committed a mistake, and then he started offering some prayers here. So if we see this verse in the purport, these instructions which we can take mainly from is how to accept the punishment and all the adverse situations in our life. That is what the Prabhupada is emphasizing in this purport. So it's saying that the devotee accepts the reversal of his position in everything is accepts the reversal of his position in life as a benediction by the Lord, and consequently he offers obeisances. That's what Prabhupada was mentioning in the purport. And then he also mentioned that if one accepts punishment as a reward dealt by the master, he becomes intelligent enough to not to commit same mistake again. So there are 2 points. Like one is it's a reversal is accepting the reversal, and second thing taking reversal as a benediction. Just it's a reward from the Lord, not just a punishment. It is a reward. It's a reward from the Lord. See, reaching this position is not an easy. Like we can hear so many philosophical discussions, but when the real problem comes, thinking that it is a reward is not an easy thing, right? How can we reach that state? Yes, it is not possible at the initial stage of our devotion, but there are many examples we can refer during the course of discussion where it's possible. But how to get to the state that where we see that all the rewards and all the adverse situations and reversals are considered as a benediction of the Lord. How can we get to that state? Let's analyze this, discuss. So King Purañjana, as we discussed, so he came back and he was regretting that, okay, he ignored his wife and he went to the forest. And he went to the forest and what he did? He killed the animals. So he accumulated many sinful activities. Then he starts regretting that, oh, why did I go? So this pastime also gives one some important tendency of human behavior, right? We also see many times we commit mistakes, something, knowingly or unknowingly. And then later we realize, okay, this is a mistake I did, I shouldn't repeat this mistake. Okay, I will not repeat this mistake. I will be very sure I will not commit this mistake again. But due to some circumstances, due to some unavoidable situation, again we repeat the mistake. Example, we can see a drunkard person. Suppose if a person gets a salary on a Friday evening, if it is a weekly wages, and what he said, he goes to the pub in the evening and he spent all night there. He empties his pocket, and next day, Saturday, Sunday, he'll be struggling with all the too much intoxication, alcoholic thing. He will have side effects. And then he will realize that, oh, I wasted money and my health is spoiled. I should control this urges next time. Then he thinks that, okay, I'll not do it next time again. But again, throughout the week, he is very strict and determined. But again, Friday comes, salary is credited into your account. Then he see all these colleagues and people going into the pub. Okay, let me try again one more time. This time I will not drink more. And let me control myself. But again he does. So this is the human tendency. We regret for doing mistakes, but again we commit the same repeated mistake. This is the example I took in terms of materialistic person. But devotees are not exception. No exception for devotees, right? They will not do that kind of abominable activities. But what we do, like some within the boundary of devotee activity, still we do some offenses. Example, when you are doing chanting, you will keep your mobile to check the time or for some other purpose. Suddenly, WhatsApp pop-up comes to say the message. Then Some people will directly distraction and they'll open the WhatsApp while chanting Hare Krishna, then he will go through the messages, right? Or sometimes some person little bit more advanced, they'll keep the chanting bits aside and then they will do the check the messages, right? So when we read in the morning, 10 offenses we read. After that we read one more special offense. It's not listed as part of 10 below that. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee must carefully guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success, right? So that is what. So this inattentive chanting is an offense. So that's what I said. Within the devotee boundaries, within the boundaries of our devotee activities, we commit mistake. There are many offenses we commit. So, and some materialistic, sometimes people, both devotee or non-devotee, we try to take some, okay, I'll not touch mobile for so and so period. But yeah, you may continue doing that, but how long you will continue? After some time, you will come back to the mobile, because of the need basis or situation demands, you have to use your mobile. You can't completely avoid it. So the complete renouncing particular things is not practical in the current age, right? You have to use either for any purpose it is required. You have to use. You have got the device for a particular purpose. You will be using it. You can't completely renounce this. So in all, either it is a devotee or the materialistic person, when we do the sinful activities, when we do the commit the offense to the holy name, offense to the devotee, offense to the Lord, all these things will give sinful reaction. Similarly, materialistic person, when he do all these abominable activities, he will get reaction. So in all the case, every time we have opportunity to, whatever our mistakes, offenses we are committing, we have to get the reaction, right? We have to undergo suffering for that mistake, the offense we committed. That is a law of karma. So how to get out of this actions, sinful reactions? So one of the easiest thing which we discussed in the previous verse, yesterday's verse, and in this Purañjana past time it was mentioning, right? Taking the shelter of Vaishnava. We do everyday morning we recite the verse Vancha kalpatarubhyascha krupa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. See, often we recite this verse as a ritualistic way. Most of the time, if we do regularly, we try to do it in a ritualistic way. Okay, it is a sequence given in the process, we recite this. But if you see this, I offer my respectable obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. They are just like a desiratrix who can fulfill the desires of everyone. They are notion of mercy and full of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. This is the important point we need to understand. They are the ocean of mercy and full of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. Because of their mercy, we will be able to continue the devotion. Example, we can take many references. If you see the first canto, first chapter, sages in Naimisharanya, what are they doing? They try to do big yajna for so many thousands of years. And why they are doing? Not for their benefit. They don't want to get some money or some shelter for benefit of mankind, for human beings, right? In this world. So they are doing this yajna, they started yajna for the benefit of mankind. And when Sutta Goswami arrived, then they stopped yajna and they started inquiring him. All the inquiries, there are 6 questions we read in first canto, first few chapters, right? All the questions are related to for all human beings. What is the ultimate benefit of mankind? Where do we need to take the shelter when Krishna leaves this material world? Right? So all these questions, all 6 questions are related to for our benefit. See, this is the compassion of the sages, Vaishnavas. So we cannot simply take that. When we do Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha, all these things we should remember at least, so that we know the intensity of that prayer. Not only that, Prahlad Maharaj was saying prayers. We see that. Prahlad Maharaj said, I don't have any personal problem. I have no problem. I have learned how to glorify the Lord. I can be in the transcendence. I can be in ecstasy. But I am only worrying about these fools and rascals who are mudas under the Maya. They are trying to go for the temporary happiness. And they are going away from the devotional process. How to bring them back to this process? That's the Prahlad Maharaj prayers. So this is the Vaishnava's compassion means and not only that, these are the scriptural. When we see the Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati and Srila Prabhupada, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati desired to spread this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu message in Western world, to bring all the fallen conditioned souls into the Bhakti path. And Srila Prabhupada took that instruction seriously, right? And he established Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, in Sydney, on weekdays morning, we would have not been here to read Bhagavatam and everything, right? If the Prabhupada was not there and Srila Bhakti Siddhanta desire was not there, we would have not been into this situation, right? So, we need to understand the compassionate nature, how it is impacting. We do so many things daily, but we don't realize that this is the mercy of all those great personalities. We are sitting here and we are utilizing, taking the fruits of their effort, and we are continuing, right? So, not only that, if all our sannyasis, now most of the Srila Prabhupada disciples, they are above 70, even though they are having health issues, but what, they are still traveling all over the world to preach this Krishna consciousness. This is the effect of Vaishnava. So, we are all doing so many sinful activities every day, whether it is a devotee or non-devotee. What is the ultimate result? How can we come out of this repeatedly committing sinful activities? By taking the shelter of Vaishnava, the great devotee. That way is the only source where we can come into the path of bhakti. So we all are here, sitting here by mercy of some Vaishnava who taught us Krishna consciousness, right? Otherwise, we were not in this temple, we will be somewhere else. So, like this, there are many references. I quoted some references from Prahlad Maharaj prayers, and then Srila Prabhupada and our Vaishnavas. But in 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, there was a nice conversation between the two great personalities. Again, Bhagavatam, many great personalities, but one, Sukadeva Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj conversation is there across the Bhagavatam, right? In 6th canto, 1st chapter, Parikshit Maharaj was asking the similar questions. Before that, in the 6th canto, 1st chapter, in the last chapter of the 5th canto, Sukadeva Goswami was explaining 28 hellish planets, conditions. And that, like Tamishra, Andathamishra, Kumbhipaka, Raurava, Maharaura, all those things he was explaining. And not only that, he was also explaining if you commit particular sinful activity, what will be your destination? Some of the examples, it was mentioned in the 26th chapter of 5th canto. A person who steals another's money, wife or possession is put it into the hell known as Tamishra. And a man who tricks someone and enjoys his wife is put into the extremely hellish condition known as Andathamishra. A foolish person absorbed in the bodily concept of life, who on the basis of this principle maintain himself or his wife and children by committing violence against other living entities, put it into known as Raurava. So, if you try to live in a materialist condition life, how? By committing violence against other people. Either you are trying to take care of yourself, your family, then what will happen? You will be going into the hell, Raurava. Not only that, those who kill different animals, birds, and cook them and put by the agents of Yamaraja into the hell known as Kumbhipaka, where they are all boiled in oil. So, a person who kills Brahmana is put it into the hell known as Kala Sutra, where the land perfectly level and made of copper is hot as an oven. The killer of the Brahmana burns into the land for many years. So, like this we have many. One who does not follow scriptural injunctions, but who does everything whimsically or follow some rascal is put into all the hell known as Asi Patrana. And then a government official who poorly administers justice or who punishes an innocent man is taken by the assistance of Yamaraja to hell known as Sukara Mukha, where he is mercilessly beaten. So like this, the Sukadeva Goswami was explaining to Parikshit Maharaj all these different hellish planets and what is the destination of by committing certain particular offenses. So when Parikshit Maharaj heard all these things, Parikshit Maharaj is a devotee, we know it is a great devotee, he is continuously listening Bhagavatam. But he started asking questions, not for himself, but for our benefit. Then he was asking, "Oh great fortunate Sukadeva Goswami, kindly tell me how human beings can be saved from entering into this hellish planet. Because in a day-to-day day, from the morning to night, whether it's a devotee or normal condition, we commit so many mistakes. And obviously, all the reactions will take us into this hellish planet. Then how can the mankind will be saved entering into this hellish condition?" So Sukadeva, Parikshit Maharaj was asking to Sukadeva Goswami. Then Sukadeva Goswami mentioned, "If, my dear king, if before one's next death, whatever impious activities he committed, he has to undergo atonement. He got to get the punishment. Before next death, you have to do all these activities. Otherwise, you have to if before death you don't complete your atonement, you will be going into this hellish planet, you will be suffering." And so he suggested, therefore, everyone has to compulsory undergo atonement. And then that way he can be overcome all the sinful activities. Then Sukadeva Goswami, Parikshit Maharaj was asking. So people may know, because through the knowledge of Vedas or by seeing some examples, people know that okay, sinful activities injuries, it's not a good thing, harmful thing. That will give a reaction. By seeing the outside material world, like the police or maybe court will give so many punishments to different people, or by reading scriptures, he will get the knowledge. But sometimes he is unable to control, even though he knows he is having the knowledge, but he is unable to control that, but he will commit the mistake. So even if the atonement is done, he will go atonement, he will take all the punishment, all the whatever is purification process, he will follow, but after some time, again he will undo the mistake. So what is the use of atonement? He will do again, repeat it, right? So then Parikshit Maharaj was telling one nice verse. Kvachin nivartante badrat, kvachit charati tat puna, prayachittam ato partam, manye kunjara sauchavat. Manye kunjara sauchavat. Kunjara means elephant. What elephant does? It goes into the water, it takes bath, cleans his body, it comes out of the water and puts all the dust on body. Right? So what is the use of taking bath? So Parikshit Maharaj was saying, if you are committing the mistakes, if the process is to atonement, through that purification process, you do it. But what is the use? Again, like the Kunjara Sauchavat, right? How the elephant is doing. It is going into the water, takes bath and comes out and it's put all the dust, ash on body, right? So it's the same thing. Atonement is not at all a thing. Then, so this is the Karma Kanda process Sukadeva Goswami was mentioning. Then, yes, Sukadeva Goswami said, when Parikshit Maharaj told this example of elephant, so atonement is not at all useful. Then Sukadeva Goswami tell, yes, but what is then he is recommending the Jnana Kanda, Jnana Yoga. Then he gave that, okay, we need to have the knowledge. When this the Karma Kanda section, whatever atonement process, it nullifies the impious activities you have done, but it will not remove your material tendency, material nature. It will not remove your material desire. So, as soon as the impious activities are nullified, since you are still having that material desire inside, the atonement process is not removing your condition, material desires, everything, right? It will still keep you in the material nature. So, as long as you are in that material condition, again more and more desires will come. So, this atonement process is not at all, not removing your material condition nature. It is only removing your sinful activities, right? So, it is not. Only the recommended process is to knowledge about the Supreme. How, that is the, but again, here it was not there. Sukadeva Goswami is not recommending bhakti. He is only telling the jnana. When you get the jnana, then he was saying, then he is comparing which one is better, Karma Kanda or Jnana. Then Sukma says Jnana is much better because at least Karma Kanda section, you are doing again mistakes again and again. But with a Jnana, you may not be repeating the mistakes. But the problem is, when the speculative knowledge, when the Jnana Yoga, people try to speculate, okay, I am the soul. Then you will think that with you too much speculative knowledge by you interpreting scriptures on your own, you want to become a super soul, right? That danger is there. Instead of committing, you try to do small offenses you are trying to avoid, but you are making a bigger mistake. You want to become a Narayana. super soul, right? So that is the disadvantage of Jnana Yoga. So then, Sukadeva Goswami was mentioning and recommending the bhakti, right? Keshit kevalya bhaktya Vasudeva parayana agam dhunvanti kratchena niharam iva bhaskara. Keshit means some people, kevalya bhaktya, by executing unalloyed devotional service to whom? Vasudeva parayana. So parayana means completely attached. So people who does bhakti to Vasudeva, ignoring all austerity, penance and knowledge, payas activities, all those ignoring, and only do devotional service to Vasudeva. What will happen? Agam dhunvanti. Agam means all kinds of sinful activities. Dhunvanti means it will be destroyed. And Tripchena, completely, with no possibility that sinful desires will revive. So that is by doing the bhakti to Vasudeva, all the sinful reactions will be destroyed. How? It will not come again. We discussed in the beginning, what is our material tendency? We do the mistake. After some time we do regret, and then we again commit mistake. How we can avoid these mistakes, repeated mistakes? By performing service to Vasudeva. And what will, like the analogy, the last line, Niharam iva bhaskara, like fog will be erased with the sunlight, right? The same way, all our sinful activities will be destroyed when we perform the devotional service to Lord. So, here Sukadeva Goswami coming step by step. First he explained Karma Yoga, Karma Kanda. Then Sukadeva Goswami said, identified the problems. This is not helpful for conditioned living entities. Then he explained the Jnana Yoga. And then again it is a risk identified. Then finally the Bhakti process was explained. So how this Bhakti can be done? Then in subsequent verse he was Sukadeva Goswami telling, my dear king, if a sinful person engaged in the service of a bona fide devotee of the Lord and thus learns how to dedicate his life to the lotus feet of Krishna, he can be completely purified. So, first verse he said, serving the Lord. But the next verse he was saying, how you can serve the Lord? Again, with the help of Vaishnava. So, we were discussing in the beginning also, Vaishnava is we said, right, Vancha Kalpada. So, importance of Vaishnava we can understand. Through him, we will learn how to perform devotional service. So the same thing in our previous, in 4:26:20 also it was mentioned, same thing. It was, if I read, one has to awaken the Krishna consciousness by first regretting his past deeds, just as a king Purañjana began to flatter his queen, and one should by deliberate consideration raise himself to the platform of Krishna consciousness. To attain such an end, one must touch the lotus feet of spiritual master. This is what in yesterday's verse. So if you understand the discussion how we started, we are starting today's purport where we are discussing about the punishments or adverse situations in the material life. What is required? We need to take it as a reward from the Lord. But how we can get into that situation, we are trying to understand. Well, in the process, we discussed what is our material tendency and how devotee, both material condition, how we can commit mistakes, and to overcome the mistake, what is the ultimate shelter? Vaishnava is our shelter, and when we take the shelter of Vaishnava, we see Sukadeva Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj conversation, in that the process is defined. So when we do the shelter of devotee and learn how to serve Krishna, then we will be purified. With that process, we will never repeat the mistakes again and again. So this state we will come, and then we will be able to accept the punishments. Then we will think how we can take care of the punishments and rewards in adversary situations in this life. So in the purport, Prabhupada was telling in today's purport, the king Purañjana took his punishment dealt by his wife, the queen, as mercy upon him. He considered himself the most obedient servant of the queen. She was angry at him for his sinful activities, namely hunting in the forest and leaving her at home. King Purañjana accepted the punishment as actual love and affection from his wife. And he also mentioned, Prabhupada elaborated further, in the Manu Samhita, it is said that king should be considered merciful when he condemns a murderer to death, because a murderer punished in his life becomes freed from his sinful activity, and in the next life takes birth cleared of all sins. So that way, if one accepts the punishment as reward dealt by the master, he becomes intelligent. So why Buddha is, Prabhupada is explaining, Why it is important to consider as a reward? Because if a king is giving the punishment to a particular person who committed offense, it means the punishment process is its purification. So in the next birth, when he takes birth, all the sins are cleared. So he will get a proper, good devotee life. So when we are talking about dealing with punishments, how are we taking in the normal day-to-day life? Say some people, like not a devotee, when we see about the outside world, when any adverse situation comes, or if any punishment comes, not everybody is having the same right mind ups. Some people will get into depression, right? Some people will get into tendency to commit suicide, right? So these are all the outside condition people are facing. But when it comes to the devotee, even devotees are not at the same level, right? Each devotee, according to the level of maturity he takes. Some devotees sometimes they will be very strong facing the situation, but suddenly sometimes they may be not be able to overcome. But some people are in the topmost devotees, they are able to take these adverse situations in a proper way. So there is again a pastime I would like to refer in this context. In the third canto, when the four Kumaras entering to the Vaikuntha planet, Jaya Vijaya, right, the pastime. So when the four Kumaras wanted to Lord Vishnu, and when the last gate, Jaya Vijaya stopped the four Kumaras, thinking that they are very small boys, they don't have a proper dress, they didn't dress properly. So thinking that they are not a devotee, and Jaya Vijaya stopped four Kumaras. And these four Kumaras got angry and he cursed them to come into the material world. Then Lord Vishnu got to know this, and he came. When he came to meet the Jaya Vijaya, the prayers he offered, like what he said, okay, my servants committed mistake. If my servants committing mistake, since I am the master, Vishnu is saying that its mistake is committed by me, offense is committed by me. That is what the Vishnu is saying. And then my nature is that always respect, love Brahmanas. Like we see, Namo Brahmanya Devaya, Go Brahmana Hichaya, Jagat Hitaya Krishnaya, Govindaya Namo Nama. So Krishna is always loves cows and Brahmanas. So that is my nature. So without understanding my nature, my servants committed mistakes. So I approve. Krishna is not nullifying their curse. The Jaya Vijaya's curse. He is approving the curse, but he is requesting them to give the opportunity to come back to his abode, to these Jaya Vijayas, so after finishing their punishment. So if you understand this process, Supreme Lord is a controller, Bhagavan, right? He can do anything with his own will. He can counteract all the curses, whatever is required. But he is not doing that. What he is saying, even he is doing that difficult. He wants agreeing the punishment, and is asking the four Kumaras that give the permission that they will come back to Godhead. So this is the mode we need to see. Every punishment, difficulty we face in our life, we need to see that hand of Krishna. It's a plan of Krishna. He's trying to take us back to Godhead after finishing that process. So the way he exhibited the mood towards Jaya Vijaya, Krishna, whatever adverse situations we are feeling, Krishna is also having the same plan. Finish your punishment, purification is completed, then come back to Godhead. With that intent, Krishna is giving all adversary situations or punishments. So, are we thinking in the same direction? What the way Krishna is giving the punishments? If we develop the same level of consciousness, okay, Krishna is giving the punishment, it's for my purification. He's doing good for it's better for us. It's not a punishment. It is a process to purification. The Krishna is giving those activities with that intent. Are we taking that in the same intent? We need to develop. If we are not, we need to develop that process through devotional process. That mood, consciousness, we need to develop with the devotional practice. I will quickly finish. Like we have many examples in our Srimad Bhagavatam. Parikshit Maharaj, he put a dead snake on the neck of Shamik Rishi. And his son, Shringi, young Brahmana, cursed Parikshit Maharaj. Parikshit Maharaj was also a devotee. He saw when in the womb of mother, he saw Lord Vishnu. He is a great devotee. But did he counter the attack on Shringi? No. He accepted that situation as a Lord's mercy. Right? So even Ambarish Maharaj, when Durvasa Muni came, and that we know all the, we don't go into the past time, we all know the past time. Ambarish Maharaj was, Durvasa Muni got angry. He was about to kill Ambarish Maharaj. What happened? Did he counter curse? No. He accepted his, but Lord himself sent Sudarshan Chakra and protected Ambarish Maharaj. And we see the Chitraketu Maharaj. When Mother Parvati cursed, did he retaliate? No. All these personalities, they have enough ability to counter curse. But what is the mood? They more thinking the same thing, what we discussed them. Lord's plan is to complete the action and then bring it back to Godhead. So with that mode, he was all these personalities. So through the devotion, we can get into this. May not immediately, but our sincere sadhana, practice and scriptural studies, shastric knowledge, blessings of devotees, Vaishnava particularly, we saw the emphasize the importance of Vaishnava. So we may get into the situation. So finally, I would like to conclude with one Kunti Maharani prayer from the first canto, 8th chapter. Vipada santuta saswat tatra tatra jagat guru bhavato darshanam yatsad punarbhava darshanam. Kunti Maharani is saying what? I wish that all those calamities would happen again and again, so that we would see you again and again. For seeing you means that we will no longer see repeated birth and death. That is the mood of Kunti Maharani. So how? She is inviting the difficulties to see Krishna again and again. When we see Krishna, all our impurities will be gone. We will be not taking repeated birth and death. So that is how we should develop. I know it is all these personalities we discuss, advanced people, devotees. Right? We are not there yet, but we should aim for that. When we go and think in that direction, all our adverse situations we feel, it is a blessing. Then we can progress in our bhakti. Again, through devotion only we can achieve that. Vaishnava Seva, devotional service. So, I will conclude here. Hare Krishna. Any comments? Yes, Prabhu. Yes. See, Prabhu, it doesn't matter whether. So, if I understand it, it's just quickly summarizing the question. So, there are many people in the India, they are trying to do conversion forcibly, and they are doing all the, right? So, what would be their destination? Right? So, yeah, Prabhu, it's as per if you understand from Shastric thing, they are doing the impious activities. So, if you see the Brahmana, if you are hurting the Brahmanas, or if you are misusing your life to get some material life advantage. So any of these circumstances, according to their, it's a sinful activity, definitely. They are not trying to do they are giving any bhakti there, right? They are not developing any bhakti. It means we are doing the harmful activity only. Just for the money or some other incorrect shastric knowledge, they might be referring some other scriptures from different sects and they are utilizing it. This is an incorrect knowledge, right? The underlying reason is that they don't have a right shastric knowledge. But obviously it's a sinful activity, they have to get the punishment. Yeah. Sacred thread. Yes. Yes. What happens to that? Let's say that me as a devotee, I'm practicing and I somehow I just heard that Dhamma. But he is eating me, he or she is eating me. What happens? See, Prabhu, as per the scriptures, if you are eating meat, whatever the scripture that mentioned, right? There's some Kumbhi Paka or he will burn into the oil. That he has to undergo. So that is simple. It doesn't matter whether it's a Brahmana, Vaishnava, or if you are doing the committing offense, that is your destination. It's a simple, plain. We don't need to have any discrimination there. That is what the Yamadutas will take. Do you see what all the, see assuming we are thinking that he is a Vaishnava. In our situation, we think it's a great Vaishnava, but he is a committing offense. So the committing offense, what is the ultimate destination? He has to undergo that. He is not a proper Brahmana. That's. So then now if I am having a discourse like an argument with him and I say something, like let's say I am not a devotee, like I am not devotee, but I say something. So then what happens? I mean, because I am hurting a Brahmana or... See Prabhu, you can't generalize that. It's a context situation. Under what circumstances you are arguing, on what basis you are. It's a case by case. We can't take it as a generic statement in that case. It's all depending on the situation. Because you don't see him as a Brahmana Vaishnava, but you are seeing as another human being. Right? If you are trying to hurt other human being, then you may get sinful. So that's why you can't generalize that situation. You need to see the case by case. What is the underlying reason you are having argument? Based on that, we need to decide. Yes. Yeah. No, but their other reason is he is a son of Guru. That consideration was there as well, right? Yeah. It's not just Brahmana. He is Ashwatthama was the son of his Guru. So that was another consideration there, right? So, yeah. Hare Krishna. Granthraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.